So weird. She is so you could tell there. You always know when something's up. You always know when something's going on. One, because I have now shaved. Like I am not hairy caveman tonight. Just like there's stuff going on, so I shaved all of this up. I didn't touch the beard. I'm really, really liking the beard.
You'll probably keep it unless they tell you
Oh man, you
otherwise.
know what? Even if I was in a position where they told me I had to get rid of the beard, I'd just go get my the shave license thing. It's like it's free. You just go in there and you be like, hey, I can't shave. Is it shave permit? I forget what it's called. Anyway, there's a thing I can get. Here's where we stand. Uh, I over the weekend passively while we were picking through movies applied for a couple of positions online, both of which called me this morning. So tomorrow I have two interviews. The first is with Lion Security, which is cool with me. It's a graveyard shift, 4 10-hour shifts in a week, and that gives me 3 days off. Fun times for all. The second of which is with the old company that I worked for prior, and they're really leaning towards the make sure you bring in all your paperwork, bring all this stuff in because G4S does not F around with hiring. If they want you, they hire you. It's just like, oh, we'll keep it under consideration. It's like once you sit down, you do the interview. If he decides that he wants you, it's like, okay, move into the paperwork section and then, go take your piss test or whatever it is they're going to do. I think they swab now. At least that's what I hear, or at least that's what Securitas does. We'll find out. But either way, one of these two jobs for me are going to pan out. Personally, I kind of want it to be G4S because I've got history with them anyway. And if that's the case, technically I'm still on payroll. That would mean I've got vacation time coming up. Like, imagine that. I go to work and it's like, well, vacation. They couldn't stop me, technically. Today was, I don't want to say stressful, but I was pissed off most of the day. It's just, it was the idea. Yeah,
You were pissed off?
I was pissed off. You were here, and as I talk about it, you go, oh yeah.
Okay.
The thing was, I have two interviews tomorrow, so we hustled up enough money for me to get a pass so I could get around on the bus and the train, which is fine. But then I was like, well, it would probably be easier for me if we just borrowed mom's car. So it's like, okay, she was all for letting us use her car, but she was like, I'm gonna need some gas if you can help me out with gas. And I was frustrated by the idea of I have interviews that I can go on so that I can go out and be an adult and provide, but I don't have the means to put gas in the car to go to the interview to afford to be able to put gas in the car to go on interviews to provide for my family. Looking for work is work. Looking for work is an unpaid internship that reaps no reward, but you still have to do it because if you don't, you get less than nothing. So I was very frustrated in that regard today because I just want to get by. I'm not even asking for a lot. I just want to be able to take care of my fam and get everything taken care of. But we worked it out. We worked it out so I will have money to put gas in mom's car. It also means I have to get up really early. Really early. And go I have to go get the car from her as she takes Mike to school, take her to her thing at 9 o'clock, go to my interview at 10, come back and get her because her meeting's over at like 10:30 or quarter to 11, somewhere in there. And then I have to drop her back off downtown, then head out to my second interview, which is at 2:30. Somewhere in between there, I'm going to have to take Asia to the store to pick up a couple of groceries. G4S will probably want me to drug test immediately. So I'm not really concerned about that. I feel like I should be okay in that regard. It's been a while. It's been a nice while since I had any goodies. There's her mom gave me a drug test. She knows, I enjoy my marijuana, so she gave us like a bunch of drug tests because she works for the state. So I'll probably pop one of those tonight, see what it's talking about. So I'll probably have to run do that, and then we'll also have to go get Mike from school, which also means we have to go downtown to pick her up, and then she can bring us home. So tomorrow is going to be an all-day event again, because it's just kind of what we do. But one of these two things will work out for me. I'm comfortable in saying that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I end up getting offered both jobs. What was funny, and I don't think I mentioned this since it actually happened, but just before I got the job at G4S, like the last time, I had to like turn down jobs to accept that job because people were just like, yeah, we want to bring you in, pay at minimum wage. It's like, oh, contraire, mon frere, my dream job is paying me above minimum wage to do absolutely nothing. I think I'm going to take that one. So I think it's going to be one of those cases where I end up having to turn down a job or two to accept this one. I also want to note that when I talked to the lady on the phone today, she was like, yeah, if you got transportation, we could send you out to a place and we'll pay for your accommodations and you'll only be there a couple of weeks. And it's like, what? Like, I don't want to do graveyard shift. Let's be honest. And to say I'm going to be away from my wife for 2 weeks? Fuck that. Like,
oh, you gonna miss me?
Yeah, I would miss you. Like, I'm family oriented. Could you imagine I'm just gone for 2 weeks out of the month?
You don't want to sit in a hotel for 2 weeks and eat McDonald's for dinner?
Right? And it's like, oh, they pay for your food, but it's like, how much do you give me to eat? Like, and then it's not a home cooked meal.
Oh,
you know, and then it's like, so even if, let's say, it's 2 weeks out of the month. Unless they said for 2 weeks out of the month, you're there and we pay you like you were gone for the entire month. It's not worth it. Because I go to work somewhere for 2 weeks and then I got to sit at home for 2 weeks and make nothing. It's like, that would be stupid. Who would do that?
People who aren't married.
Like,
or single.
Or even worse, they'll say, okay, we'll see you somewhere for 2 weeks, and when that assignment's over, they ship me somewhere else for 2 weeks. So it's like, I'm just not going home. Like,
I'm sure they have to let you
like,
go home.
That's stupid. So I don't want to do that.
So you don't want to be part of the jump
team? No, I don't want to be on the jump team.
See, that I remember when they were letting you guys know that the contract was ending. They were like, yeah, guys, sign up for the jump team. And you were like, no. So is that what that is?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Except the jump team was fun because you could just be sitting at home and waiting for them to call you.
Yeah, but
and you'd be getting paid though. And if they needed you, you had to drop what you were doing and leave for 2 weeks, which makes it impossible to plan anything out. It's like every time your phone rings, it's just like, don't go to the bathroom and not take your phone, and then they get pissed off at you that you didn't answer when they called, because like, now that's your job.
Or you can't like enjoy the edibles.
Yeah, right. I couldn't even imagine just sitting around on my off days like, hey dog, let's get some edibles and just chill, and then it's just like,
second you pop it in,
Harris, we need you. Fuck. But apparently the job, I told her too, I was like, look, I have a family. I can't just, she's like, no, the position that we were talking about, it's in Gold River, California. And I was like, man, Gold River sounds like it's far as fuck. It's like, I don't even know where that is. But I looked it up. It's the exact same zip code I'm in. So
it's like 15 minutes away.
It's like 15 minutes away. I mean, it's like, I'll work it out. I mean, it's 6 miles away. I remember when I was in Michigan and I was working for Technicolor, I stayed on, and here's names for reference for you. I stayed on Grand River in Livernois. I know these mean nothing to you, but I would have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to walk out of the door, and I would catch the last Grand River bus, which was at like 2:09 or something, and it would take me all the way down to Grand River in Schaefer, which is about 8-9 miles away from there. And then from Grand River and Schaefer, I had to walk to Schoolcraft in Southfield, which is like another 4 miles, just to be at work by 5 o'clock so I could start at 6 to stay on my feet all day until like 2:30 or 3. So if you're telling me that there's a security job, which I can catch a bus and a train for, if I've got to catch a train all the way to the ass end of wherever the fuck, and then get off and walk a mile, I'll get off and I'll walk the mile. Like, I'll do it until we get a car. Like, it's no big deal. I don't want to, but it's no big deal. I'll get it done. And I was in the shower washing off my smooth bald head, and I was thinking to myself, it will be nice to, when they offer me overtime with the company, I'm assuming G4S is the way I'm headed. If they offer me overtime, I can throw on a completely different shirt. I can go downtown. I can work an event. And then I'll save that money. Just like, I'm not even counting that as money because we got Power Morphicon coming up in August. And I want to have enough money to enjoy myself. So, I've talked for way longer than I wanted to. I'm finished. Tomorrow will be the day. Let's find out what happens here. The only thing that could really fuck everything up is if I take this drug test and it just doesn't work out and they're like, no. But then Lion Security doesn't even drug test.
I know.
Because I scoured their website for that. It's not there. It's not in the job requirement at all.
See, but even if G4S did drug test, like, because it's legal now, especially, you know, with your cannabis license, again, is that the kind of thing where it's like, cause when you were working for G4S, I remember you ended up looking into it. And I think you called the security company.
I called the place that I got my Gaga. And also, it's fair to keep in mind that I'm still in the system for G4S. So they'll just be like, oh yeah, it's fucking Harris. Whatever. You know?
I heard you mention when you said that you were in the system or that you worked there, and she asked who hired you, I guess. You said Major Farrakhan. Did she say, oh yeah?
Yeah, she knew exactly who it was. But also, she couldn't access like my profile because for whatever reason, my application hadn't gone 100% through. It was just, hey, he's applied, but it was no access to my information.
But they'll be there tomorrow.
So tomorrow, whoever's interviewing me, they'll be like, oh, yeah, you used to work here. Even if it's not somebody I know, they can look it up and be like, yeah, he worked here. His last job was here.
I mean, you're still there. You just don't have a contract.
Yeah, I'm still on payroll. It'll be easier for them to just switch me over. So I might not have to do anything. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm about to go spend the rest of my evening with my woman because we got to get up so early in the morning. That's
another reason I want to go to you tomorrow. I don't know about you, but when I know you have to get up with me, it motivates me to get up and get it done more.
Really?
Like if I had to get up at 7:40 or leave the house at 7:45, like something about knowing, okay, we have to. It gives me the motivation I need because we're doing it together.
Oh.
And I want to be that moral support.
Shiny. All right, let's go be bad guys.